Hello everyone, once again, nice to meet you all. Well, starting from now, in this session, we would like to tackle EdTech, Education and Technology. Innovation Summit, Sato-san and Nakajima-san are invited over in order to proceed with the discussion. Let me invite them over. First and foremost, I would like to click over and display with you the page that shows you the introduction. Professor Sato, come over. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much. Indeed, so the day has come. Well, so it was just a year ago. Time flies, really. So, Professor Sato, there is no need to introduce you, but would you please self-introduce yourself? Yes, my name is Sato. I belong to Digital Hollywood University. I belong to Association of Innovative Education, where we are going to host a 4-day event for EdTech starting from tomorrow. EdTech is the theme which we are teaching at our place. This is about the innovation that utilizes educational technology. We are proceeding with those technology, and tomorrow I will be joining that event as well. I'm looking forward to it. Sato-san, let's invite over Nakajima-san together. So we have one more guest here with us. Nakajima-san, would you please come over? Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much indeed. So let's calm down and let's have ourselves seated, shall we? Thank you. So we had Sato-san introduce himself. So we would also like to introduce everyone to Nakajima-san. So what a wonderful track record you have. Would you please introduce yourself? You can see the picture of piano. So we do the jazz piano. I also work on the education for the STEAMs, including art, on top of the science, technology, and so on. I also work on a variety of things. You also have yourselves involved in the Osaka Kansai Expo, right? Yes, in 2025, that expo is to be held. I am working as a theme producer. I'm looking forward to working with Wacom in that regard. Yes. So you do a variety of things: mathematics, STEAM, music, media, education, and you are also a mother as well. And well, I can see the dots right next to the mother written on top. Yes, so lots of things like connecting to the world. In 2023, we are going to have the international the physics and also mathematics event. I'm involved there as well. So we are going to have those the world the events for the mathematics and so the science to be held in Japan. That's wonderful. Anyhow, thank you very much for joining us. So we are going to have a talk with all of us. So, we don't even have to have that page. Would you please turn off the slide for now? Yes. So I'm not so sure whether you had a time to observe, but this is the event titled Connected Ink. So the theme that we have is the creative chaos. So I wouldn't say that the background is chaotic, but you cover a variety of things. Sato-san as well. So I guess this is the sort of the place where the innovation is derived. With that in mind, we are working on our initiative. What do you think about it? What's your take? As for myself, I believe that now is the time where we would have to see the chaos as the theme. Because of the technology, rationalization, efficiency, streamlining are happening. But on the other hand, in a way, we are currently stumbled. In a way, we are reaching the limit in a way. And so in order for us to be able to go through the evolution, in order to proceed further, I think intentionally we would have to go for the creative chaos, positive chaos, so to say. We need something that would lead to the creation of the chaos, like the art, fine art. They are basically the same thing. But anyhow, once again, we would have to take a step backward to rethink about something without answer. In this society where the technology is used as the basis, I think this is something, and this is the right time for us to think about all these things. Right. Productivity, efficiency. Well, we are now at the time where we need to go and take a step further. What do you think, Nakajima-san? Yes, I believe diversity is quite interesting. And as for myself, in a way, there are so many things embedded within me. I wouldn't call it chaos, but anyhow, by knowing many more things, I get to know much more. That's quite interesting. Same goes for my inner self and outside of myself. For example, we were having a talk about choosing a chaos as the theme for the expo coming up too. Well, I feel very much encouraged. That's good to know. Also, creative chaos is a good theme. I really like it. Well, this word just came into us. As at the company Wacom, we are working on development of tool for people to write digitally. But it wouldn't be good if the developmental process is chaotic. We have to have the right schedule in order to deliver the performance. We have to do the right development process. But in the other hand, the people who are to use those tools, users, not only creators, but actually educators are nowadays utilizing our tools as well. Thinking about the experience that they will go through. In a way, perhaps we shouldn't focus too much or only on efficiency. That's the sort of awareness that we are having right now. Yes, as was mentioned, Sato-san mentioned, there is no one right answer. In that sense, chaos is quite important. By going through the many extra things, we'll be able to realize new things. Yes. By the way, personally, you mentioned that you won the gold medal at the World Mathematics event. I wasn't really good at mathematics, but anyhow, and you are also a jazz pianist. When you tackle mathematical problems and when you try to play the piano, is it the same thing or is it totally different? Well, it really depends on people, so I wouldn't say that this applies to other mathematicians or jazz pianists, but I think to me they are quite similar. It's not that there are any one right answer to jazz, but we have to go through improvisation, but sometimes we won't be able to do the right thing. We sometimes feel that we could have done better, but anyhow, depending on the atmosphere, air, and the body condition, health condition of yourself on that day, well, things changes. And same goes for mathematics as well. Oh, really? For example, the theorem created or discovered by someone. Of course, to remember that is quite important back in 20th century. But now I believe that there is much more fun into creating things. For example, by changing something, you would be able to find something new. For example, the kind of things that you see, you accept as a granted. By forgetting all these things, you would be elaborate yourself. It's quite fun. So I guess in that sense, it's all the same. That sounds interesting. I'm not really good at mathematics. I was very bad with the test, for example. I couldn't even memorize the theorems back in the day. And it just reminded me that during the test, I was like, I thought that maybe I would be able to discover the theorem at the time of the test. And I just... And then I thought that maybe I would be able to go through and do the same thing as the legends of the past, but I couldn't even come up with the theorems during the test. and STEAM and art, mathematics. Mathematics. But so you talk a bit about STEAMs and art. I think when we think about all these things, including art, I guess inside the chaos, we would be able to find something consistent, or if we would be able to discover such pattern, and then things may look quite beautiful. That's the kind of impression that I've had, even though I'm not really good at it. It just makes us want to talk about it. Right. But anyhow, Nakajima-san, you operate a company named STEAM, and A of the STEAM is a capital. Would you please show the screen?
So the word A is So the A is capitalized. Can you tell us why? Well, actually, I think that the mathematics is similar to art. This, as I see, is creative activity. But art, in a broad sense, is the work to produce something new. It is for anyone to invent how you see the world. So I think that the art is to create answer, which include everything. So I use capital letter for A. So A is the big word, and STEM exists in A. I see. So it's not that which is higher, which is lower, but from the perspective of keep raising the questions, A includes everything. I see. So what are the particular activities that you are doing with the STEAM? Right. Globally, we are working on this activity to democratize creativity. So we want to use the word both creativity and democracy here. And using the 5 sessions, I want people to become feeling to be like scientists or inventors, so that they can come up with their own theory. And those activities are what I'm doing globally. And toward the expo, I like to keep sending out message to everybody. Right, so it's very interesting to hear. So Sato-san, last year we had similar discussion, right? Yes, so the science, technology, engineering, STEM was the word which did not have A. So that's before. But now we're moving from industrial society to information society. The A becomes important. The STEM became important as we were moving to information, but it was recognized that A is needed to be added to STEM. So I think that is very important. The A of the liberal arts. And also, anarchy also starts from A. So A can be many things, including anarchy or other A's can be applied here. So from STEM to STEAM is one move. And Nakajima-san, as you operate your company, there are many activities, and Expo is what you're working on, one topic you're working on, right? Yes. So I'm working on many things toward Expo, and I'm trying to connect many dots in preparation. So these are the examples of what I'm doing with many people. Right, so you're creating connection, and you're connected to many different regions, right? Yes, I'm working with the 30 or 40 communities from Hokkaido, northern part of Japan, or Cambodia even. And Sato-san, your innovation is also very diverse in terms of which regions you're connected, right? But as Wacom also, we are focusing on like grassroots. While we have a big vision, I think it is also important to able to run the project which are tangible. And this is our promise that we made with the Art and Culture Club of a junior high school. And we made this promise last year. And our promise was that we are to keep supporting the activities of the junior high school students. And this message written here are the message came from the junior high school students. And many of them are writing what they like to do in future. And some of them said that I want my paint to be used to make other people smile. So there are many of the desires described here by junior high school students, and our promise was to help them. So I'm Sato, and I'm working on EdTech. This is technology-enabled education, and of course, technology does have its strength. So we are talking about the KISEKI or trace. To be able to look back at your own past, technology can help you by allowing you to trace what you did before. But we have to move forward not only from pursuing efficiency. If we just keep doing it, there will be some stopping point, and then we have to move forward even before there, even beyond there. And while we are growing up, and when we grow up, we are going through the process where we select things and to do smaller numbers of things, and so we converge into some points. That was the process of the growing up. But we need to learn to diverse or go. So from the convergence, we need to move on to be able to become dispersing. And again, we need to practice the disperse as adults using technology. So convergence and dispersion need to come together. And what we are hoping is that technology can be used to help people do that. And I think EdTech is what will enable that. People sometimes misunderstand saying that technology is only about the improving efficiency. But what we are aiming at actually is a STEAM, both including the convergence and dispersion. And right, so also we need to consider about the theory, but at the same time, making something concrete is also important. Right, the dispersion and conversion is very important topic. Right, historically, people or human beings have been practicing both, but today, our responsibility is to leverage the advantage we have, which is the technology, digital technology, and we have to use them efficiently. Right, and we also have to give importance to being playfulness without having specific aims. And I think that is important not only to children, but I think that adults also need to have some space that they can relax. I think that today we need that more than before. Right, we need some space in our lives. I agree with that. So this is what we are doing. So you use the word of being playful. We may be doing some things that includes both the diffusion and convergence. So this is to do with the cleaning ocean, and we are working with the elementary school student and junior high school student in Oiso and such, and they create games to help that. And also, we're working with a high school student in Hamamatsu. They gave us a challenge letter against our creative confusion. And so they created many of the artworks. And what they are demonstrating as young generation is the explosion of the creativity. And those examples will be shown later in different sessions. And also, Sato-san earlier talked about the KISEKI, or tracing the past. Later, from 6 p.m., there'll be another session to cover that. The traces, the visualization of traces as art is one of the ideas we have. So the trace of the work can reflect the passion or ideas of the artist, and we are actually running the project to focus on the trace, not necessarily the work results. Right, this approach requires technology in order for us to trace the trace and feeling the chaos. People can ask themselves what they want to do in future. And I think technology allows us to realize what we want to do quicker than before.
By the way, the theme of the expo is the lives of the people are being heightened. Well, the joy of what everyone has been doing, if we would be able to visualize that, that's going to be quite interesting. And documentation is a particular word which we often hear. For example, the process of trial and errors. With the technologies, I think we would be able to share that with everyone in the world. If we would be able to take the record, keep the record of all these, I think we would be able to have much more assets that can be shared amongst us humans. So we would like to try that. And since Wacom-san is quite good at it, if we would be able to work on that, that can be quite amazing. Yes, the technology, the versatile, or say, any usual technology would be fine. For example, just taking the movie to share. It's fine. Actually, the taking movie involves a very high tech as well, the kind of technology that wasn't available before. All the movies being shared and diffused, the movies can be used to take a look back at ourselves. We should fully utilize all these assets that are available nowadays. Right. The kind of any general technology available everywhere can be good, and also the common experience can be accumulated. That's the sort of thing which we are talking about here, right? Yes, one by one, all these new technologies are coming up, but it can be understood as a new brush that's available now. Maybe some brush may not be easy to use, but for example, how do you want to take the movie? What sort of story would you like to adopt? It really depends on the creators. But maybe the creator may want to try something new that's available, or some may want to stick to a particular technology or say the brush that's available. That would depend on each individual, but all these would be shared, connected to each other, and would eventually become the common assets of everyone. So in that sense, the role to be played by the Wacom is going to be very, very important. So the kind of technologies, all these technologies are supplied to us in a way that is available to everyone. You are, in a way, casting spell to all of us. So it's not that I'm saying a good thing about you because we were invited over here, but the people who needs to bear the role to make the technologies would have to know what to do, or else it can go towards the wrong direction. Well, I do agree with you. Thank you. Well, the time is coming close to the end. Would you please shut down the screen? We can move on to the closing part. Well, actually, this is not the end for us, right? That is correct. Starting from tomorrow, we are going to have the Innovation Summit. This is going to last for 4 days. This is the event involving EdTech. We are going to broadcast it online starting from 1900. We are going to have the YouTube Live Innovation Summit. Would you please Google it? You should be able to find it. Well, once again, we are going to review what we've talked about there so that we can dig deeper and think as to what sort of future we'd be able to expect. So you just touched upon many keywords. All these would be assembled into the future. Yeah, we would like to think about the future, how the future turns out to be. Well, the people who are involved in the Connected Inc., well, the talk by them are quite interesting, and all these things are going to get connected. So it will eventually lead to Expo too, right? Well, if you heard the word Expo, it may sound as if it's just there, but it's up to all of you as to how you define it. So we can make the chaotic Expo, perhaps, Osaka and Kansai Expo. So thank you. STEAM, the diffusion and convergence, creative chaos, and capturing the traces, the strokes. We've just heard lots of keywords, so we can continue this starting from 1900 on 19th. So let's talk about the future there. Anyhow, thank you very much. So this was the first part. Mato-san, Nakajima-san, thank you very much for coming over. We've had a talk about education and technology. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. On Friday, starting from 1900, we are going to have the Innovation Summit. Please make sure to register yourself there. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.